Hello YouTube. In this video I'm going to be talking about school corporal punishment. That is, in schools where they will, in some cases, they'll have you bend over, put your hands on a desk or whatever, and they will hit you on the rear end with something like this. This is what they use, a paddle, somewhat like this. In some cases it might have holes drilled in it that would allow it to swing faster. But in any instance, it'd be something like this that they would use. Now, you know where I got this? A porn shop. That's where I got this. Now, I'm not a big fan of porn. I don't care for porn. I think it's, for the most part, it's stupid. So I ordinarily don't go to porn shops. The only reason I got that paddle at the porn shop was because I know that porn shops sell that kind of stuff. And I got it for demonstration purposes. To demonstrate, for show, and to demonstrate how to defend against it. I have come up with various self-defense techniques to use against somebody trying to paddle you. So anyway, they apparently in some 20 states in this country, schools will sometimes paddle students, will hit them on the rear end with a paddle. Sometimes up through high school, believe it or not, teenagers in high school. And that just blows my mind. What teenager would even let somebody paddle? I mean, that's too old for even parents to spank. How could a school do that? Now there are, I know, some good websites opposed to such stuff, such as there's this website called thehittingstopshere.com, and organizations like PTAVE, Parents and Teachers Against Violence in Education. And I think those are great organizations, and anybody who's opposed to this sort of stuff, they should look into that. Although, concerning paddling, really, I mean, from what I understand, there's now some bill in the works that would ban paddling nationwide, and I think it would be a great thing to pass this bill and have that law. However, I think for the most part, it's up to the students. You don't have to let, especially if you're a teenager in junior high and high school, you don't have to let somebody paddle you. You could say no. You could refuse to cooperate. I mean, I saw some YouTube video where somebody talked about being paddled at the age of 14 for chewing gum. This was during lunch period. Supposedly, the principal had her put her hands on the AC unit and he hit her with a paddle. I wouldn't have let him do it. As a martial artist, I know how to protect myself. I wouldn't let him do anything like that with me. No way. But yeah, you could just say no, just don't cooperate. Now, most people are familiar with Rosa Parks. She was that woman who did not give her seat to the white man in the bus when it was required by law to do so. And I really think Rosa Parks was terrific, but you know who I'm really impressed by is Claudette Colvin. This was some 9 months before Rosa Parks became famous for not giving up her seat. Claudette Colvin, she also did not give her seat to a white man in the bus when told to do so. And what really impresses me about Claudette, she was only 15 at the time. Claudette, who was a 15-year-old who refused to give her seat to the white man in the bus when it was rightfully her seat. She got there first, so it was rightfully her seat, even though the law, the unfair law at the time, said that you had to give it to a white man. But no, she said no. So if Claudette Colvin, back in 1955, if Claudette Colvin at the age of 15 could refuse to cooperate and refuse to give her seat to a white man in a bus, a teenager of today should be able to refuse to cooperate when being paddled. Just tell them no. Don't put your hands on the AC unit. Don't bend over. Just simply physically don't let them do it. Heck, you don't even have to show up for the paddling. As I understand, in many cases, you go to the office to get paddled. In that case, just don't even show up for the paddling, you know. So yeah, I do think a law against this paddling would be great, to have the law to outright ban it. But I really think the best thing to do is to just teach the students, don't let them paddle you. You don't have to let them do it. You know, the same way you teach people defenses against rapists and not to be a victim. I mean, you know, rape which is clearly against the law, yet it still happens. People still do it. So even if this bill does become a law and paddling is outlawed in schools nationwide, there's no reason why some schools might still do it. You know, just because something's against the law doesn't mean people don't do it. If that were the case, we wouldn't need prisons now, would we? So the important thing you got to teach the students: don't let them do it. Don't let them paddle you. You know, that's have respect for your body. Learn to take care of yourself. You know, as a martial artist, that's what I've learned, and that's why I like to teach others. So, you know, just don't let them do it. Your body belongs to you. I mean, that's being paddled. A teenager being paddled. That's the kind of thing you'd find in porn. I mean, there's these porn videos of young ladies ages 18 to 30, give or take a few years, being spanked, and you find that at porn shops, and guys will rent these tapes and watch them and get off on that. So you take an attractive 16-year-old who well developed, physically able to have children, and you paddle her, you're doing that same thing to her that you'd see in a porn video. It doesn't matter if you're not trying to be sexual, it's the act itself that's sexual. So that's the important thing. Just tell students that they don't need, you don't need to take it. You don't need to be paddled. Just don't let them do it. It's that simple. Alright? That's it.